Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get things going with some Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 with Dan the VP. So Dan, whenever you're ready, give us that countdown and best of luck on the run.
All right, welcome on in, everybody. I am Dan, and when I click back into the game, we can get things started. This is episode 1, Normal Veteran, which is a lot of things, but it's the first episode of the game. It is the type of Zangetsu that lets us power up through the run, and it's the now middle difficulty because for some reason we have an even harder difficulty. So time's going to start when we get control of Zangetsu, so that's going to be kind of around 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. So we're rounding out the Castlevania block, because this is a Castlevania game whether it says it is or it isn't. We're going to get some allies during this run. It's very much a throwback to some of the original Castlevania games. If you've seen Curse of the Moon 1, you'll be familiar with everything to expect. So, we're going to get some juicy sub-weapons to cut through some bosses and do some pretty unique platforming. A lot of this run is going to rely on teamwork. Gonna get 3 more allies, and they're all gonna contribute something in one way or another. Some of them are more helpful than others, but we'll get to see a nice helping of everybody. Most of the movement mechanics are very what you would expect from a classic Castlevania game. Your jumps are all, once you commit, that's where you're going. There is a little variability in jump height. Whether you hold jump or not, you can get a small jump or a bigger jump. Playing on the veteran difficulty, taking damage is gonna give us a little bit of hit stun and some knockback, which we're using right here just to move forward. The lanterns in this game are nice and helpfully colored. So these orange and yellow lanterns always give either points for our sub-weapon or just points in general. The purple lanterns always give sub-weapons, and then the red lanterns give health. The sub-weapon drops are all predetermined from the purple lanterns as well. So they'll always give you the same sub-weapon unless you have that sub-weapon, and then they will give you their predetermined alternate sub-weapon. Spending down our weapon points to 15 here so we can end with 0. Every little bit to save time. Trying to avoid getting extra points in the first couple of levels too, because we can avoid a little couple frame animation that gives us a 1-up at the end of the levels. So this is the first boss. We're gonna use the Demon Scroll. Charm? It's the Charm. Yeah. Gonna go pretty quickly, hopefully. Maybe faster than I can actually say that sentence. Just poking it with the little sword here. Throwing the charm through its face. Getting some double hitboxes. Taking damage, so we get less points. And in Curse of the Moon fashion, for episode 1 at least, the first couple of bosses we're going to get saved by our new ally. So I was a little disappointed with Curse of the Moon 2 because you can't kill your friends in this game. If you played Curse of the Moon 1 at all, you might be familiar with killing your allies and absorbing their powers, but we've got to be friendly in this game. So we're going to grab Dominique here. She's got a nice big pokey stick and she can jump real high. We're going to be using her for most of level 2. This is, well, no, I'm not going to say anything nice about this level until I'm through, because that's the way you jinx yourself. But she can pogo, and jump over most of the enemies in this level. A little bit of extra jump height will go a long way. Also, like most games of this genre, if you're attacking while on the ground, you're not moving forward. So there's a lot of jump attacks, trying to time the attack so that the animation is done by the time you hit the ground, so you don't get that little landing lag, if you will. Trying to avoid the purple goo here. I really like playing with Dominique. It's a very user-friendly pogo mechanic. You literally just press down. I'm not a fan of pogo mechanics that require like 3 different buttons to use, but that might just be me. This is a pretty tight section through here. And a little RNG on this guy, yeah. He can throw his axe at several different positions, so we made it through though. Using this big lance to lunge upward. This is one of the more useful items throughout the game. You can even go through the bottom of the floor there to get that power up. It's going to give us 10 more weapon points in total, which we're definitely going to take advantage of.
A quick moment. We have a $20 donation from DanTheVP. Up early for Dan. Sad no Smoky Cam. Good luck, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Def Nasty. Yeah, Smokey is still asleep, surprisingly. So we're gonna come on to the second boss, and hopefully we're gonna have some help from the game here. For some reason, the specific sub-weapon we have just randomly does damage even when it's not hitting the boss. And so we're gonna hope for that. Gonna spread some lightning across the ceiling. And yeah, you could just see the boss taking damage while nothing is even close to it. That was actually a really good kill. Fight usually lasts quite a bit longer. So now we've got our next ally. His name's Robert. He's supposed to be a glass cannon, but for some reason his base attack does the least amount of damage in the game for any base attack. He does have a gun though, so his basic attack animation is so long though you can barely jump and attack without any landing lag. So we're not going to see much of Robert until we get his big gun, which big gun, best gun. We'll take a look at that when we get it. Dominique still serves a lot of good platforming purposes. The longest attack range and highest jump height. Her attack serves really well for being able to attack, kill a lot of stuff, land, and not get stuck on the ground at all. But Robert can crouch though, so that's a thing that he can do. It's worth noting I'm going to be taking a couple of easier strats throughout the game just to be a little more marathon safe for my sake. Not really anything huge or worth mentioning. There are a lot of places that you can hope for good RNG and get less. Oh, well, that's not good. Robert can also wall jump. There's a lot of places that with good RNG you don't need as many different sub-weapons, but I will be grabbing backups just to make sure we get through bosses quickly. Which then, in turn, costs a little time in later levels because I have to get the appropriate sub-weapons. Alright. These platforms are all on a global cycle, so we're a little bit slow getting there. That's alright. Playing a little bit safe through here. There are checkpoints built into the levels. You'll see little candles on the screen, like right here. I can retry from those manually, and it'll respawn all the characters if I were to lose one. But I would lose the sub-weapons I had and end up back at the default sub-weapons, which I definitely don't want to do. So grabbing a little bit of extra weapon points here, just to make sure we have enough. This boss will be the first boss we use multiple characters on. I hate that jump. Alright, so we're gonna grab some health here, top up our weapon points. I'm also forced to spawn with Dominique so I can get the lance back here. Earlier in the level I grabbed her health sub-weapon because that forces the lance at the end there. Yo, what's up, Athena? So this is the Gladiator Dozer, because that's a boss. And we're gonna get a quick kill here with a little bit of teamwork. 6, 9, 10, 11, and this is the big gun. Oh no! I missed a shot. Well, we're gonna see phase 2 of this. Almost. So the big gun, not only does it do a lot of damage, but it also gives you a little height if I shoot it while in midair. So we're gonna use that with Robert in a couple places. Gladiator. There you go. And so the most important part of the game's coming up. We get Hachi, who is a corgi in a mech suit. Again, which makes perfect sense. Mash through some text here. So we got the full squad now going on to stage 4, and we're gonna show off Hachi. So he's completely overpowered. Please buff Hachi though. We need more power on Hachi. So things to note: he doesn't slip and slide on ice because he gets little ice spikes. He can hover. He has a ground pound, if you will, that'll break through stuff. He takes a lot less knockback when you take damage because he's a big mech. His attacks are the only basic attacks in this game type that break through armor. His sub-weapon is invincibility, and he only has that. So similar to Jeeble in Curse of the Moon 1, if you break open blue lanterns, you get weapon points. Which is a really useful aspect of both Curse of the Moon 1 and Curse of the Moon 2, is having a character that gets more weapon points than everybody else, because you can really use him to farm points when you need to build up a big stock. You can see his ground pound here. You can also swap to him and hover. So the way his hover mechanic works is if you're holding jump when he reaches the peak of his jump, he hovers. So you can swap mid-jump as long as you keep holding jump, and he will hover. Next room is kind of tough. One of the harder strats in this level. And that's it. That timing is very fickle. Using the gun right there to get some height to make that ledge. It can take a little bit of getting used to. if you haven't played these style games. So the fact that you can jump into the ceiling just about everywhere. Roofs are semi-solid from the bottom. With the big gun, we can also slide along the ice, which is, you know, fun. We're gonna get another weapon upgrade here. This is, well, weapon point upgrade. Which will be the last weapon point upgrade. We can grab the Demon Essence with Zangetsu. Coming up on the next boss, which I believe is the first boss in Ritual of the Night. I have still yet to play Ritual of the Night, so somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to be using mostly Hachi. We're going to use Zangetsu to buff our auto attacks. That Demon Essence ability on Zangetsu, one of the only abilities that transfers to different characters, and it's going to give basically +1 attack to all our basic attacks here. I'm going to do a bit of a safe strat and just stick on Hachi at the beginning, because he's not affected by ice physics. Makes sure I don't fall off this platform, which is slow. And we're just going to punch her in the face a bunch. And on to phase 2. So after this boss, we're going to pick up an upgrade for Zangetsu. We're going to get the Soul Eraser. It's totally not like cursed or anything. Completely normal name for a sword. We're also going to get some double hitboxes on Hachi here. He's got a big ol' attack. Burn through this boss a bit. Swap to Robert, finish off with the big gun. I'm going to swap back to Hachi to bleed off the rest of the weapon points. Up until we get Hachi, we're planning out weapon points so we end with 0, because the game's going to count down weapon points at the end so we can save time. There's a lot of optimization that goes into it. 5 weapon points is about the same amount of time as swapping characters. So if you have less than 5, unless you're on Robert, because he has a longer victory animation, so. But just being safe, it's easiest just to bleed them all off at the end. So Zangetsu's now powered up, and he's actually really useful now. Got new attacks. All his sub-weapons are powered up. He needs it for this level. If I go a bit quiet in any of these sections, it's because stage 5 really turns up the heat, if you will. But missed that weapon pot. Could not do the Robert strat there, but no one would have known unless I didn't say it. So, the couple of sections in here that are just very, very tight to get through. A lot of the rooms start off spawning enemies as you enter them. You basically don't hold right the whole time. You're not going to get the good pattern, like here. Almost got through there. We're going to get the damage boost to the right there at the end. But shout out to yesterday, the current world record holder for a lot of these strats in level 5. Alright, we're good on weapon points here, which is nice. I can just do this. If you've played any of the Curse of the Moon games, or just Castlevania in general, you're probably familiar with sections like this that, unless you have the one thing to get through the room, it's very miserable. Luckily, we've got invincibility on Hachi, so it's easy to get through there. Take a little damage boost here. One of the things I enjoy most about this game is just it's the normal variety where Zangetsu isn't super speedy and can't double jump and all of that very much benefits from swapping characters, using all of the abilities in their toolkits, multiple sub-weapons. It's really fun to kind of play and route out and figure out. Come on. There we go. Well. We're gonna get another health upgrade here, as well as pick up the Demon Essence. It can be really costly in these runs to lose a character, because that potentially loses the sub-weapon you want. And then a lot of these levels, there's only like 1 or 2 places to grab those sub-weapons, so. Alright, moving into the Stage 5 boss. He's going to come out of the top or the bottom at a random time to start the fight, and I'm going to try to get some shots with the big gun off. Ideally, we want him to come out of the bottom quickly, because out of the bottom we've got to kind of shoot early. Got the top. So if he comes top first, he's always going to come bottom. And he came early. To get the double hit on the bottom, you basically have to shoot before he comes out. So you just got to guess when he's going to come out. And luckily, he came out after 3. 3 being the quickest he can come out. Alright, gonna burn off weapon points. Gonna burn off health here. And doing it with Dominique, because that's who we want to start level 6 with. Hope everybody's doing well. It's good to be back for Game Over Cancer for a 3rd event in a row. So stage 6, things just get harder and more difficult through the rest of the game, basically. Lots of swapping, lots of riskier strats, and most importantly, losing anybody in stage 6 really makes things challenging. We're gonna try to not do that. Gonna ride this chest crab over here. We're gonna get another upgrade in this level, which is gonna increase our base damage. Demon Essence now gives us a big spinny move too, which is nice. So we've got the upgraded sword. So that was the gauntlet. Let me get this health just to be safe. So the upgrades in this run, we get 2 health grades, 2 weapon point upgrades, and an attack upgrade and a defense upgrade. Optimized, I think my PB skips 1 health upgrade and skips the armor upgrade, but we are not doing that for marathon's sake. It's a time save of, you know, probably like 3 to 5 seconds per upgrade you skip. Team up action right here, and a little bit of big gun. It's one of my favorite strats in the game. It saves so little time, but it's really cool. Alright, this next room is going to be routed out with the power of crouching. I think Laxus found this strat, and it is so much easier than the previous strat through this room, all just because you can duck. Gonna take some damage boost, and we've got some curing platforms here. Gonna take this a little bit safe. No reason to rush. Alright, last couple of rooms here. It's another one of these sections where you don't hold right, you can mess up the spawns. Like that. Alright, well, we lost somebody. But that is, if there was a place that it's not terrible to lose somebody, it would be this section of this level. Because we can get the Rapid Scarf, which it's definitely a bandana. I don't know why it's called a scarf. So we're gonna grab this. We're a little short on weapon points, but we should be alright. Yeah, if there was one place I was gonna say I'm probably gonna lose a character on, it would have been that room. But this boss is completely RNG, and if we have to 2-cycle it or 3-cycle it, I'm not going to be broken up about it. So the pillar spawns are consistent. Where the boss moves is not. So basically, you can be just out of range from being able to hit the boss for a significant portion of the fight, which is why I grabbed the scarf on Robert. And all in all, that was a pretty quick boss kill. Speed Scarf. Yeah, so normally in this boss we would just use Zangetsu with the Demon Essence. It's going to cost us a little bit of time in the next level to get Robert back on the big gun, but definitely worth it for safety's sake. Stage 7. So stage 7 is going to have some more platforms on a global cycle. I think we figured out that the global cycle doesn't start until you see them in that room, which is kind of an interesting take on things, but the armor upgrade there. So there's a big skip in this level that can be done one of 2 or so ways. Big gun there. I'm going to be using the Cyclone strat, which for me is a little bit easier and a little bit more consistent. And it's going to rely on using a power-up we have not seen at all this run, which is the Cyclone. And the Cyclone travels on the bottom of the screen. Oh, what am I doing? And if there's an enemy above it, it forms like a cyclone and goes up. And if you jump with it, you get a big, like, floaty jump. So the section at the end of this level, if we time right, we're going to basically sequence break the game. There are several different routes through these levels that are meant to be taken in later episodes when you have different characters. So we can sequence break this level by getting to a place that is only meant for G-Ball. Alright, I'm going to play this super safe here and not die, hopefully. Alright, that was good. Almost. Let's save it right here with Dominique. Alright. So this next section is basically if you don't hold right the entire time, it doesn't line up. So let's see what we can do here. There's the floaty jump. And there we go. That is not the fastest way to do that skip, because it has a couple extra character swaps in it, but it is definitely the most consistent for me. Alright, so last section here until the boss, which if you've played Curse of the Moon 1 will be familiar. We're going to be fighting Grimmery again. And we're hoping for hands in the air. Grimmery's going to tell us what pattern we're going to get based on the color orbs in their hands and where their hands are. So we're hoping for hands in the air. Either hand, doesn't matter. And then Grimmery is going to come to where we are, so this side's going to be safe. And then 2 hands in the air, pretty good. Going to come over here so we can still use... It's not a bad Grimmery. Still going to go into phase 3 a little bit, but all in all, I will take that in the marathon every day of the week. Alright, so coming up on the last stage, or before that I should mention, every boss has this desperation attack at the end, which cannot kill you unless you're playing boss rush mode, and then it will. And it might kill you on Legend as well. I haven't been bored enough to try to play through Legend yet. So, stage 8, by far the toughest stage, where runs go to die for me. There are lots of long gauntlet sections, both horizontal and vertical. And if you lose any one character, it's pretty detrimental. And rip bitrate. So using the Cyclone on Dominique loses a little bit of time, because I've got to grab the Lance over here. But the Lance is crucial to this level. Also going to be grabbing a couple of extra lanterns here and there just to make sure I stay topped up on weapon points. This is one of the only levels that your like health and weapon points as a resource on normal veteran are really pushed to the brink. Got one final big gun strat. And a damage boost here. Alright. An easy place to lose Robert there. Gonna take this a little bit slow. That lantern is trapped. Can't attack the ball of bugs to knock it back. Alright, so first climb coming up. We got all the resources we need here. Oh yeah. Climb 1 done. In the books. Let's get that rapid scarf again. Take some damage boosts, get through these dragons. You can probably tell that if you don't have every character, a lot of the route I'm taking is basically just not possible. I'm gonna get all of this weapon point. Zangetsu here just to be safe. So, final climb coming up. Things work out, we might just be able to make it up. Finding this strat is the best part of speedrunning this game. Alright, so on to the last boss. That was really easy if you couldn't tell. Just the kind of the built-in final thing there at the end. I'm gonna grab all of this, all these weapon points. So last boss is Beelzebub. He's got 2 phases. We are going to hopefully one cycle the last phase with Robert and his rapid scarf after we get through the first here with Zangetsu and his demon essence. Dodge a couple attacks here. I'm gonna spawn him. Took a little bit of extra damage there, so I'm gonna swap to Hachi here to be safe. Another demon essence. We're really limited on what sub-weapons we can use here, because I think 27's the minimum to one cycle the next phase, but... Alright, time is going to end when the health bar reaches 0. It's going to happen pretty quickly, but I'll call it out. A little mention about the rapid scarf. I think if you mash, it shoots every 9 frames, but if you hold it down, it only shoots every 11 frames. So I am mashing with that. Alright. And got it. So time will be ending here shortly. Mashing, and time. So that's going to be a sub 35. I am not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. And that's episode 1. If you remember from the title screen, there is an episode 2, an episode EX, final episode. There's like a shump section at the end, and like moon gravity, and all kinds of stuff in this game to experience. If you've not played through it, definitely would recommend. It gets really tough in some sections, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you love the genre. It has a corgi and a mech suit, so if that's not enough to convince you, I don't know what will. Yeah, that's definitely sub 35, whatever the timer on the stream says. It's a lie. But thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks everybody that's donated so far. Shout out to Strizer and the team behind this. It's my 3rd chance to run in the event. It's been a lot of fun. I love prepping runs and submitting for Game Over Cancer, and it's twice a year now. So if you're looking to kind of get into some marathon runs, start working now, and maybe we'll see Game Over Cancer in the fall. I'm DanTheVP. I would say you could follow me over on Twitch, but I'm currently in the middle of moving across the country, so I haven't been streaming lately, but I will return. Shout out to all the Castlevania runners, and specifically shout out to Captain Brian, who did so much work for this game. He built us a trainer. He put together the whole database with all the information about every enemy and every weapon. Programmed the auto splitter. Fantastic guy to have in the community, and shout out to him. So with that, I'm done, and we're on to some Zelda.